Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Snackbox. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, the Fusion just went live a couple hours ago, and I want to talk to you about the Fusion event calendar. So let's take a look at the news. So if you go to the news, you can see here the info. To get Greatel Hackband, you will need 4 Signies of High Shields, and each Signy needs 4 of the Tusk Knight rares. So basically, just a normal traditional fusion. All the events here, I will open up the calendar in a bit, and you can get 1 extra Signy from the Summon Rush event on November the 8th. That's next weekend. And you can, let me see, events and tournaments start and finish for everyone at the same in-game time. Today we are also launching a special fusion pack and so on. So yeah, that's basically it. Now let's go to the summoning portal. There we can see, so you need to get 16 rares, 16 Tusk Knights, get them to level 40, ascend them 4 times, fuse them into Signy, you need 4 Signies, basically, get them to level 5, ascend them 5 times, and then you will get the fusion. Now, I know this, these traditional fusions are really, intensive in terms of costs, energy, and brews, and food, and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm really, struggling to convince myself to do this fusion because I don't think she's actually worth it. And, without Hansel, she's really, really not that good. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to use her if I don't have Hansel. And even with Hansel, she's not game-changing, right? She would be, the duo would be nice for people that are trying to progress in Hydra or other areas, but alone, they're not really, they probably will sit in most of the vaults and not ever come out and not ever get used. So I'm not, I really want to get I don't want to skip fusions, right? I'm really not that guy that wants to skip fusions, but this one really feels bad, because, without Hansel, she's just basically a good epic champion, maybe not even that. And yeah, I don't like the fusion champ from what I saw. The damage is not that high, and if the dual partner is not there, I don't know where to use her. So but most likely I will do the fusion anyway because I just want to collect all the legendaries I can, and what is there other to do, and we don't have anything to do anyway, so I don't know. I might just go for it, just to do it, not because I need it or I think she will perform nicely in any area. But let's check out the event calendar. So as you can see, the Dungeon Diver event already started today, and we definitely, should wait for tomorrow to run any dungeons to combine the Ice Golem tournament with the Dungeon Divers. Then from tomorrow, we also have a 2x Ancient Shard event with a 10x for Vulkanos, the new demon spawn, which is actually pretty strong. They should have really, made him the fusion, but, it is what it is. And then we also have a Champ Train event starting tomorrow. Yeah, now you can definitely combine those free events if you have a strong R-Tech and can run, Ice Golem solo with him and train some champions, get Dungeon Divers points and Ice Golem tournament points. So not that bad, honestly. Then on Saturday, we have an artifact enhancement event. Oh yeah, and the Ice Golem tournaments or the dungeon tournaments in general costs normally around 2,000 energy to 2,500 energy, depending on which stage you run. But overall, I would always recommend to run the higher stages just for the sake of better gear. And then we have an artifact enhancement event from Saturday and a classic arena takedown. Now, classic arena takedowns are pretty easy. Artifact enhancement events cost you a couple million, and also not that bad. You should get enough silver from the Ice Golem tournament event if you're trying to complete it, to complete the artifact enhancement event as well. Then from Monday we have the second Dungeon Divers event and a Dragon tournament starting at the same time on the same day, which is nice. And then another artifact enhancement. So those artifact enhancement events kind of feed off the dungeon events. And then on Thursday next week, basically, we have a Fire Knight tournament and a Champ Train tournament at the same time. And the third Dungeon Divers on the next day, so you might want to wait for the Fire Knight runs, to start with. You want to start with them on Friday when the Dungeon Divers event. What also kind of bothers me that we have 3 Dungeon Divers in this fusion, which is really, not that good, because most of the time you complete the dungeon tournaments before you complete the Dungeon Divers events, and then you have to spend extra energy to complete the Dungeon Divers as well. So yeah, I don't know. This fusion is really expensive, and the champion is not that good. I don't know. It really, makes me think about skipping, but I'm most likely just gonna do it anyway. So, I don't know. I don't think she's worth it, all the investments, honestly. But I just need something to do, I guess. So I'm gonna do it. So then from Friday, we also have this Summon Rush event where you can get Signy. So in case you missed out or you're planning on missing out of 4 of these Tusk Knights, you can get your 4th Signy basically from the Summon Rush event by just pulling enough Sacred Shards. Which I might consider. I'm not sure yet. And then we have the last 2 events starting on Sunday, November the 10th. The Artifact Enhancement event number 3 and Spider Tournament. They also pretty much, feed off each other. So pretty nice. Overall, I think it will cost you around, 3, 6, around 10 to 12,000 energy if you're not planning on getting Signy from the Summon Rush. Yeah, I don't really think that she's really helping anybody, not mid game, not early game, especially not alone. With a partner, maybe, yes, I can see that, but without a partner, I don't see her helping anybody in any area of the game. So I'm not really sure if I should recommend you to do the fusion. I definitely understand if you are planning on skipping. A lot of people skip this fusion actually. Same as the last one, it's just not enough, she just doesn't do enough. And yeah, I just hope the next fusion is going to be way better than this one, but maybe we will get some use for her in, Curse City or some future content or whatever. Not quite sure. Maybe she will get a buff, or I don't know. You never know with Plarium what they're gonna do in the future. They turned, trash legendaries into god tier ones, and the other way around. So I don't really know, but that's pretty much it for the Fusion event calendar. Now let's take a look at some of the new champions actually. One of the new champions is this dwarf called Arnorn. Pretty nice design actually, with this dragon style goldish armor and a little bit of fire on his shoulders. Kind of cool looking. His axe looks also pretty decent. And let's take a look at his kit. So, Shining Cleave. Attacks one enemy 2 times, damage increases by 5% for each buff on the target. Each hit has a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. This books up to 50%, and 50% chance of stun on an A1, which is a 2-hitter. Not that bad, honestly. And he's attack based, and Void is also really good. The A2 attacks one enemy 2 times. The damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for each 10% HP this champion has lost. If the target is under 2 or more buffs, will also ignore 35% of the target's defense, grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. So this is actually pretty solid. A lot of damage increases, and ignores defense if the target has 2 buffs minimum, and also grants an extra turn if he kills an enemy. So basically, if he would kill one, he would get an extra turn, and then probably uses a free, which is an AoE attack, will ignore increased defense, strengthen, and shield buffs. So this is actually pretty solid. If this attack kills at least 1 enemy, decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 50%. This effect cannot be resisted. Wow. This, if you see this in a skill, this is really good. You really, you really want that on your skills. This effect cannot be resisted, so you don't need accuracy on him. Can be booked to 4 turn cooldown. 35% damage boost, okay. But ignores increased defense, strength, and shield buffs. Okay, let's take a look at his passive. Golden King. Passive effect. Increases this champion's attack by 5% for each active buff on the enemy team. Okay, so basically the more buffs the enemy team has, the stronger he gets. Active effect. Prevents this champion's death and keep them alive on 1 HP. When hit by a fatal hit, places a stone skin buff on them for 1 turn, then instantly activates the Wrath of, whatever this is, skill. This will not place the Wrath of skill on cooldown. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect will only activate once. Okay, nice. So he basically has a similar passive as Leorius, just with stone skin instead of unkillable, which is really strong. So basically he will not die unless you block his passive, and then place a stone skin, and then hit everybody with this. And if he kills at least 1 enemy, he will decrease the turn meters of all enemies. Wow. So this is like, let's say you're first, right? You kill 1 with this, then you use this, and then, I don't know, maybe a Wukong comes back or whatever, tries to kill him, but he places stone skin and then kills the Wukong again, technically. Someone rated this guy with a 1 everywhere. This is actually funny. Yeah, I don't know what the multipliers are like, but from the paper, like on paper, he looks good. Just, we kind of need to know if he really does damage or not. So that would be the most important thing to know. Then we have the demon spawn, Vulkanos, which looks really, really good. Really amazing design. Reminds me a little bit of Sauron. Let's take a look at this kit. Attacks one enemy, the A1. Attacks one enemy each time this skill is used, permanently increases the damage inflicted by this skill by 10%, stacks up to 100%. So doubles the damage if he uses this 10 times. Counter attacks with this skill each time an enemy under HP burn debuff attacks this champion or their allies. Okay. This is actually pretty nice. If you pair him with Gizmak in Arena, I think he can definitely do some damage there if he counter attacks all the time. Attacks all enemies on the A2. Places a fear debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted by enemies under a HP burn debuff. Okay. And then the A3. Attacks one enemy 2 times. The damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for the turns left remaining of any HP burn debuffs on the enemy team. Stacks up to 100%. Alright. Then the Demon Spawn Unity. One faction ally. Damage received by this champion is decreased by 50% while this skill is not on cooldown. Okay. So, I don't know, if you pair him with Duchess, he will get 50% less damage. 2 faction allies. Each time HP burn debuff is activated on an enemy, has a 50% chance to decrease this skill's cooldown by 1 turn. Okay. 3 faction allies. If the target is under a HP burn debuff, this attack will ignore Stone Skin, Unkillable, Ally Protection, Block Damage, and Shield debuffs. Buffs. Wow, okay. This is actually pretty damn strong. If everything that ignores Stone Skin is nice these days. Whenever an enemy receives a buff or has their turn meter increased, has a 50% chance to place an HP burn debuff on that enemy for 2 turns. If an enemy already has a HP burn debuff, has a 50% chance to instantly activate it instead. 1 faction ally, HP burn debuffs placed by the skill cannot be resisted or blocked. Wow, this is strong. 2 faction allies, each time an HP burn debuff activates on an enemy, this champion gains 5% ignore defense, stacks up to 100%. Wow, that's crazy. 3 faction allies, places a block revive debuff on enemies killed while under a HP burn debuff. Okay, so basically you definitely need 3 faction allies to get this full potential. I think they tried to do something like with Teox here, and I think this really works. Just from looking at his kit, ignore defense stacks up to 100%, his A1 damage stacks up to 100%, bonus damage. He places HP burns that can't be resisted or blocked. He places HP burns when the enemy receives a buff or has the turn meter increased. He can fear, ignore Stone Skin, block revive, and has a Demon Spawn speed aura and a defense aura, and this defense based damage. So overall, just a crazy kit. I'm really excited for the 10x tomorrow. I really hope I can manage to pull him. I only have 50 ancient shards, but you never know. But overall, what a crazy champion. I think everybody wants to, most of the players want to get him. he might be, you know, really worth it to, you know, maybe invest some gems to get more ancient shards. Yeah, and then we have this neo-mythical, which I'm probably never gonna get, but that's fine. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it overall. I'm really excited about the 2x ancient shard event tomorrow and the 10x for Vulkanos. I really hope I can pull him. The fusion champion, you know, Gretel, is not that good. And the, you know, overall the events and the investment you have to put in is going to be a little bit costly. It's going to be, you know, a little bit expensive, and it really doesn't feel good. But it is what it is. I'm going for it, and yeah. So let me know in the comment section below, are you skipping or are you doing the fusion, and why? And, you know, let's hope for a better fusion next time, and see you in the next video.